Good morning, grade 6. I hope you all are fine. Today we have a new unit. We have unit 13. We have unit 13. Before we start, I want you to open your language books, page 108. Page 108. Now, I want you to look at the pictures. Look at the pictures in this unit. Look at the pictures. What can you see in these pictures? I can hear you from here saying, I see a girl. Excellent. I see a girl. What else? I see sea. Excellent. I see sea. This is the sea. Some of you are going to say, I see water, teacher. Excellent. You see water. You see a girl. What else? I see a boat. Excellent. What else? I can see a ship. Wow, I can see a ship. And what is this? What can you see here? Yes, it's a map. Excellent. I can see a map here. What's this? This is a map. Okay. What do you think that this text is going to be about? After you look, I want you to guess now in your mind what the text is going to be about. Now let's go to the title. The title is Grace Darling. Grace Darling. What's the meaning of Grace Darling? What is Grace Darling means? What does Grace Darling mean? What does it mean? Grace Darling is a name. This is a name. Grace Darling is a name. As you can see, this is a name. Okay. Whose name is this? Okay, I will tell you. Grace Darling is the name of a girl. Yes, this girl in this picture, her name is Grace Darling. So, Grace Darling, a name of a girl, is the title of this text. So, what do you think the text is going to be about? Yes, it's going to be about Grace Darling. So let's go and see the genre of this text. The genre, the type or the kind of this text. Excellent. It's down here. It's biography, as you can see. Biography. What's the meaning of biography? Biography means the life story of a person written by someone else. The life story of a person written by someone else. This means that when you write a story about another person, we call this a biography. So this is a story and this is a biography. So it's a story about Grace Darling. You have to concentrate on this biography. Okay, Grace Darling. Let me read now the yellow box over there. This is a true story of the bravery of Grace Darling, a young woman who risked her own life to save others. She was born on November 24th, 1815, and she moved to the Longstone Lighthouse off the coast of Northumberland when she was 10 years old. Her father, William Darling, was the lighthouse keeper. The first line, this is a true story. So it's a true story. It's not an imaginary story. This story really happened. Really happened. It's a true story of the bravery of Grace Darling. What's the meaning of the word bravery? Do you know? Bravery, when you have the courage to do something, when you dare to do something, you are brave. You are brave. It's a noun. The adjective of this noun is brave. So Grace Darling is a brave girl. A young woman who risked her own life to save others. A young woman, she's a girl. A young woman who risked her own life. What's the meaning of risked her own life? Risked her own life means that she did something very dangerous that could result in her death. She did something, risked mean that she did something very dangerous that could risk or result her own death to save the others. Do you know the word save? We took a synonym for this word in Unit 3. Do you know what it is? Yes, it's rescue. Save, the word save. Who risked her own life to save others, to rescue the others. So she put her life in danger to rescue other people. She was born on November 24th, 1815. So if I asked you, when was Grace Darling born? You should say, she was born on November 24th, 1815. 1815, so this is a very old story as you can see here. And she moved to the Longstone Lighthouse off the coast of Northumberland. So she moved from place to a place. She moved to the Longstone Lighthouse. Lighthouse is a new word. Do you know what's the meaning of the lighthouse? Do you want to search for this word in your dictionary? So let's search together. Do you want to play Shout It? I can hear you from here. Let's search for this word together. Quickly. Let's search for this word together in your dictionary. Let's search for this word in your dictionary. Lighthouse. Lighthouse. Can you shout it? Lighthouse. Yes, this is the word lighthouse. As you can see, lighthouse. I found it. Who found it first? Who found it before me? Lighthouse. Lighthouse. This is the word lighthouse. Lighthouse means a tower with a powerful light that is built next to the sea to warn ships of danger. This is the lighthouse, as you can see here. This is the light, and it's like a house. So it's the lighthouse, a tower, powerful light. The light is very powerful, built next to the sea. So it's next to the sea. It tells the other people or the ships or the people that the captains of the ships that there is a danger. Excellent, you found it before me. I'm sure about this. Let's continue. This is the lighthouse. Can you see it in this page? This is the lighthouse here. Yes, it's in here. And this is a lighthouse too. Yes, this is the lighthouse. Let's continue. So, which place she moved to? To the Longstone Lighthouse, the coast of Northumberland. When she was 10 years old, she was a very young woman. She was a girl. She was 10 years old. Coast. Can you see this word coast? This is the coast. Coast means the land beside the sea. This is the coast beside the sea. This is the coast. Longstone and Northumberland are names of places that she moved to. Her father, William Darling, was the lighthouse keeper. So what was Grace Darling's father's name? His name was William Darling. And what was his job? He was the lighthouse keeper. So this is his job. He was the lighthouse keeper. He was the guard of that lighthouse, the one who guards it, the one who guards the lighthouse. Okay, let's start reading this lesson. On a dark, stormy night in 1838, a ship called the Forfarshire was on a voyage from Hull to Dundee. Captain Humble was in charge of the ship. He knew that one of the engines was leaking slightly, but he didn't think it was too serious. So we have this story. This is the main character of this story, and this is the time and place. This is the setting, the time and the place. So it happened here, Longstone Lighthouse, and dark, stormy night. This is the time. This is the time. It was dark and it was night. So the weather was stormy in 1838. This is the year. A ship called the Forfarshire, this is the name of the ship, was on a voyage. Voyage, we have a new word on a voyage. Voyage is a new word. Can you please search for this word? Voyage. Okay, let's shout it. Let's shout it. Who's going to find it before me? Let's shout it. We have the word voyage. Can you find it before me? Find it before me, the word voyage. Voyage. Can you find it? Can you find it before me? Faster, move faster. Who found it? Ah, I've just found it. This is the word voyage. Can you see it? This is the word voyage. I will put a rectangle like this with an arrow for the word voyage. This is the word voyage. The meaning of this word is long journey by sea. Journey, journey. You know this word. I'm sure that you know this word. Long journey. Journey or a trip. We have another meaning. We have three synonyms for this word. Voyage, journey, and trip. So, excellent. I'm sure that you found this word before me. So, it's voyage. They were going on a journey by the sea from Hull to Dundee. These are the name of the places. From Hull to Dundee. Captain Humble was in charge of the ship. So, what was the name of the person who's in charge or who's the responsible for the ship? Captain Humble. Excellent. His name was Captain Humble. He knew that one of the engines was leaking slightly. The engines that make the ship moves. The engines leaking. What's the meaning of the word leaking? Leaking slightly. Leaking means when you have a liquid or a gas escapes from a hole or a crack. So in this case, the water was leaking slightly from the ship. Slightly, slowly, or slightly. Okay. But he didn't think it was too serious. So he didn't take it seriously. He thought that this is gonna be a small, tiny problem without any troubles. Let's continue. The wind grew stronger and the waves grew enormous. The wind grew strong. You know the wind. Ooh, the wind when you have a strong air. The wind grew stronger. So grew. The wind became, the air was light, then become stronger and stronger. And the waves grew enormous. What's the meaning of the word waves? What are the waves? Look at this picture here. These are the waves. These are the waves of the sea. We call these waves. Okay, they were enormous, enormous. You know, remember this word. I'm sure about this. We took it in Unit 3, Journey to the Center of the Earth. Enormous, excellent. Enormous means very big or very huge. Excellent. And both began, and both engines suddenly stopped. Imagine that you are in the middle of the sea with a big ship and suddenly the engines stopped. Imagine that. The ship began to drift. The ship began to drift. What's the meaning? Yani, what does the ship, yani, what happened with that ship? It drifts. Can you please search for this word for me in your dictionary? Let's find it. Let's shout it quickly. Who's going to find it first? Drift. I will find it for you now. I will find it before you. Let's see who's going to find it first. Yeah, let's shout it quickly, quickly, shout it. Who's going to find it first? Who's going to find it first? Drift. Excellent. This is the word drift. And the meaning is pushed along slowly by water or air. So it was drift. It was moved by the water slowly. So the water moved the ship slowly. It was tossed about on the ferocious sea. It was tossed about on the ferocious sea, and the captain knew they were in terrible trouble. So it was tossed about, so it was moved, or it was by what? It was moved on the ferocious sea. It was tossed up by on the ferocious sea. Do you know the word ferocious? Do you know the word ferocious here? It's a new word. I think it's in the dictionary. Find it for me. Ferocious. 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 Find it quickly for me. Ferocious. Where is it? Ferocious. It's a very strong word. It's in here. Ferocious. Can you see this word? It's the word ferocious. Ferocious means violent and able to cause serious damage. Yes, it's like furious or something very strong that could damage everything in its way. The sea was ferocious with its waves. So, and the captain knew they were in terrible trouble. They were in trouble. Do you know trouble? Trouble means so bad. So bad. And trouble means a problem. So the captain knew immediately that they were in a very bad problem. Okay. He was relieved to see a faint light on the shore, which he thought was coming from the island of Inner Farnay. So he was relieved. We have the pronoun he. Refers to whom? Can you know this? The pronoun he? The pronoun he refers to, excellent, to Captain Humble. Was relieved. He was relaxed when he was so worried, and suddenly he felt so relaxed to see a faint light. Can you see this word? We have this word, faint light. Do you know what's the meaning of faint? Faint means a light that is not very bright. It's so tiny that you can barely see it. Faint light on the shore. Shore. This is the shore. It's the land between the sea, the land beside the sea. It's the shore, which he thought was coming from the island. He thought that the light was coming from an island. He said, finally, we found the island. We are going to an island. But this is the name of the island. So, what was the source of this light? Let's see. But it was not coming from the island. Unfortunately, the light was not coming from the island. So where did that light come from? It was coming from the Longstone Lighthouse. This is the lighthouse. Look, they were in the middle of the sea. And this is the lighthouse. This is the faint light that Captain Humble saw, as you can see here. It was coming from the Longstone Lighthouse, which was there to warn ships of the dangerous rocks. Can you see the rocks? These are the dangerous rocks. Okay, the lighthouse was warning, was telling them that there's a dangerous rocks here. Stay away from these dangerous rocks, please. So, forcefully, within minutes, the ship had struck the rocks forcefully and was beginning to sink. Within minutes, it was a very small period. The ship had struck. The ship had struck. Struck means to hit something. So the ship hit the rocks forcefully. Forcefully. Can you find this word for me? Forcefully? Can you find the meaning of this word for me quickly before I find it? Can you please find... Sorry for interruption. Let's continue. The captain, his wife, and some of the passengers managed to cling to the rocks and hang on during the long and stormy night. So we have the captain, his wife, and some of the passengers. Passengers, people who were on that ship on that day, they managed to cling. They could hang on the rocks. They could hold the rocks very tightly during the long and stormy night. So all the night they stayed hanging on the rocks. These are the rocks. All the night, stormy. It was a very long, dark, stormy night. But they were in great danger. It was very dangerous for them to stay in a way like this. Any moment they might be dragged into the sea by the huge waves which crashed over the rocks. Look, these are the rocks and these are the waves. They were crashing over the rocks all the time, so they were in a danger to be dragged into the sea, to sink. At dawn, the lighthouse keeper's daughter, Grace Darling. So let's see what happened in the dawn. Do you know the dawn? Do you know this word? Do you want to search for me for this word? Let's search for this word together. Dawn. Let's search for this word together. We have the word dawn. Shout it, shout it. Can you find it for me? Let's find it together. The word dawn. Can you find it for me? The word dawn. Where can we find it? Where can we find it? Where's the word dawn? This is the word dawn. I've just found it. This is the word dawn. Can you see it? Dawn. Dawn means the beginning of the day. The beginning of the day. So what's the meaning? The beginning of the day. Do you know when the sun is about to rise? This is the dawn. At dawn, the lighthouse keeper's daughter, Grace Darling, woke up and looked out of her window. Can you see her in that picture? This is Grace Darling. She woke up at dawn. She looked out from her window. So let's see what happened. This is the lighthouse, as you can see. This is the window. She looked at the window to the sea. At dawn, the lighthouse keeper's daughter Grace Darling woke up and looked out of her window. In the distance, she saw what she thought were seals on a big rock. Seals on a big rock. She looked and thought that these are seals on the rocks. Do you know the meaning of the word seals? Do you want to search for this word? Let's shout it. Let's find it. Quickly, quickly. I will find it first now. I challenge you to find it before me. Seals, seals, seals. Do you know the word seals? Let's find. I've just found it. Seals. This is the word seals, as you can see here. This is the word seals. What are the seals? Seals mean large sea mammals which eat fish. So it's a kind of sea animals. They are sea mammals. They are seals. So she thought that these are seals on the rock. She didn't see well because this is in a distance. We have a very long distance between them. Let's continue. Where are we now? Here. As it grew lighter, she realized they were not seals but people. She was horrified. So it grew lighter. This means when the sun when the sun started to rise and it became lighter and lighter, so she can see clear now. She realized they were not seals but people. Imagine to see people on a rock in the middle of the sea with these strong waves. She was horrified. She was horrified. She was so scared. She was horrified. She was so scared when she saw them, when she realized they were not seals but people. She was horrified. She was so scared to see this scene. Next class, we will continue the story.